call the meeting to order. Can I get verification of posting?
Yes, on, sorry, I gotta open it. I'm blanking. Oh my goodness, what is today? I'm so sorry, y'all.
Right here, sir.
Yes, on May 19th by 5 p.m. Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. Council agenda was posted. Now let's have our invocation by Lewis, please, sir.
Let's bow as we pray. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you that we have this opportunity to come before you as a city looking for direction. We just ask that you would give our council the knowledge and wisdom that they need to make decisions for our city as we go forward. We just thank you for all that you do for us. In your Son Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you. Next, we will do our Pledge of Allegiance, first to the American flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda is approval of the minutes of our previous meetings. April 14th was from our regular called council meeting, and May 13th for our special called council meeting.
Move we approve the meeting minutes from the April 14th regular meeting and the May 13th special called meeting.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any further questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next, we come into our public comment period, and we have two signed up this evening. First is Andrea Wallum. Andrea, I just want to let you know you have 3 minutes for comments, and we will not be able to reply or ask questions, but anything you say, we do take in
Okay.
consideration. Thank you very much.
Appreciate y'all letting me speak. I'm Andrea Wallen with the Bosque County Veterans Memorial, and Meridian is planning on the America's 250th celebration. It's going to be from July 9th to July 12th. They're bringing in the traveling memorial wall. It'll be set up in City Park. They're in Meridian from the 9th until the 12th. We're planning on some parades and contests. There's going to be a dance. There's going to have picnics. We're going to have a memorial service on Saturday. There'll be some devotional speakers. After that, the live bands will start up. We have Brent Hayworth, Hudson Skaggs, Randall Wrench, and we also have Marcus Miller, a Lone Wolf, and the U.S. Blues Saturday. We'll have vendor markets, Mounds House. We have all kinds of things set up for people to do. And we have a registration form if anybody wants to sign up. And we have sponsor forms for anyone that would like to sponsor or make a donation. I appreciate you letting me speak, and thank you very much.
Great, thank you, Andrew. Thank you very much. Next, we have Steve Haar, and Steve is the president of our BCAD. He's going to give us an update.
Thank you very much. Good evening. Thanks for all you do for the city of Clifton to make it a place where we all want to live. I'm coming to you tonight as president of the Central Presel District, just for an update. When we met for our very first meeting in January, we concluded that one of the things that we could do to help the BCAD and its relationship with the community is to open transparency and to communicate better with the people that pay our salaries. Not my salary, but the salaries over there. I'm a volunteer, like I think a lot of you are. So this is one of those things we're going to do. We have two things to tell you tonight. First is, when we first got to the BCAD, we realized that there are 5 members on that board. 4 of them were absolute rookies. Never been on the board before. They change over, as you know, when you vote for it every year, all 5. And so this year we had 1 who was a returning member, but there's 4 of us didn't know anything. So Under the law and under the tax code that governs all this, we are permitted to shift to a staggered term method of electing directors. And the process for that is we will pass a resolution in June or so, send it to you in July, and you have until September 1 to pass a resolution saying, no, we want you to all be elected at the same time and have nobody know what they're doing. So what we hope you will is you'll do nothing. They do that over there at the legislature, the way it got set up. There's several things where you do nothing and it passes. So we will pass a resolution. It will be coming to you. Probably get announced. I might come back and just tell you it's in your hands. But if you do nothing, then that becomes how we do it. In the future, the difference for you will be is that you'll have an election every year instead of every 2 years. If there's a burden to the taxing units, it's that they have to conduct an election every year to replace those members. 1 year will be 2, 1 year will be 3, but I'll still tell you that it'll be much better for the longevity of what's really a very complicated kind of place to run. It's a very highly regulated, complicated mess. The second thing is our budget. We come up on budget. We start on budget next week. Anyway, in early June and sometime in July, we will deliver it to you. 2 things I want you to know about the budget. In February, we decided that given the budget that was looked at last year and so much controversy over there about that, we're going to start with what's called a zero-based budget. We're going to go and we're going to ask questions about every single thing on the budget. Why is it there? What do you need it for? Why is it that much? That kind of thing. And that's actually already started. I gave the responsibility to one of our members to do that and to do a salary survey, and he requested salary information from 30 counties around the state of Texas to gather information on what people in that business do, so that we're not making salary decisions just based on, it's 5% more, 3% more, or whatever it might be. So I just want you to know that we are working on a budget. It's a zero base, and we are putting an effort in to both understanding the budget and also the biggest part of the budget, which is our comps and our salaries. So several of you know me personally, and let me tell you, if you ever have any questions whatsoever about what's going on over there, please call me. There's a lot of things I don't control or do, or the board doesn't do, but I can explain it to you because I've invested a hard 6 months in figuring it out. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Har. All right, next on the agenda is our consent agenda. And is there anything on this agenda you would like to pull out and discuss? Okay, we are going to pull out the monthly financial report. That will probably become its own agenda item. And Cassie, our finance manager, is here tonight to give us an overview of what she came into and where she is now.
Alrighty, so I know y'all asked for monthly. This is gonna be more of a mid-year update. So on a lot of these items, they're just either corrections or things that just weren't being done and inputted into our system. Property tax, we are now at 91%. We were at 46%. Our sales tax, we were also in the red. We were at 40%. We are now at 86%. Our Atmos franchise fees, we were at 110%. We are still at 100%. Our garbage franchise fees, we were at 0%. We are now at 55%. Our water revenue, we were at 8%. And now we are at 56%. The reason being is just stuff wasn't the money has always been there. It just wasn't being transferred from one system to the other. So we were receiving the money on the utility side. We were not documenting it on the finance side. So that's why that is a huge jump. Our sewer revenue was actually a negative 45%. Again, that was kind of an issue on billing side and journal entries. The billing side, we had just changed our rates on how we break down sewage. We made a correction because we didn't have a cap on it, and that correction threw us into a negative instead of, it was a billing error. It looked like we gave money back when we didn't. It's corrected now. We are now at 56%. or I'm sorry, 58%. Our sanitation revenue, we're sitting at 61%. We were at 0. So that's basically what I've been working on, is finding things that kind of look odd. You know, we should be at 50% or above on all of our revenues. We are halfway through the year, so that's kind of what I was looking at when I was going through things, seeing what we were in the red on. There's much more that I've corrected. These are just the big items in our revenue side of things. But going forward, if y'all have anything y'all want me to look at in particular and bring back information, I can do that. Email me, call me, text me, whatever, and I will get that information to you guys. Do y'all have any questions for me? Did I just like go too fast?
There is a copy, and David can send this to y'all of everything she just went over to show where it was and what she's gotten it to now. And like she said, the money's there. It didn't look that way in our budget because it wasn't transferred in right.
Correct.
So, but do y'all have any questions right now?
No.
Cassie's done a great job.
Good job, Cassie.
Yeah, that's all I got. Did you want to talk about or you want me to come back to address that hotel?
I'll address it.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Thank you. So, next on the agenda was a presentation to Sybil. Sybil was not able to make it this evening. She had something with work come up. So we're going to skip over that. And now it will be D, and it's issuance of certificates of election for newly elected officers.
Okay. If I could have William Murdoch, Leslie Perry, and Richard Bergman come up to the front, please. It's a group effort. Sorry, let me get the right papers. Can I do it from right here? Or do you want me to be? Okay,
For your picture.
for the pictures. It's all about the pictures. Okay, so this is a group, so I'm not in. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, William Murdoch,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I have not directly
that I have not directly
or indirectly paid,
or indirectly paid,
offered, promised to pay,
offered, promised to pay,
contributed, or promised to contribute
contributed, or promised to contribute
any money or thing of value,
any money or thing of value,
or promised any public office
or promised any public office
or employment
or employment
for the giving or withholding
for the giving or withholding
of a vote at the election
of a vote at the election
at which I was elected,
at which I was elected,
or as a reward
or as a reward
to secure my appointment
to secure my appointment
or confirmation,
or confirmation,
whichever the case may be,
whichever the case may be.
so help me God.
So help me God.
One more. Okay. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, William Murdoch,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully
that I will faithfully
execute the duties of the office
execute the duties of the office
of council member for the city of Clifton,
of council member for the city of Clifton,
of the state of Texas,
of the state of Texas,
and will be the best
and will be the best
of my ability
by my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and of this state, so help me God.
and of this state, so help me God.
Perfect. Congratulations, welcome.
Have a seat.
Hot seat.
Have them sign now? Okay. Okay, I do have something for y'all to sign real quick. Just the officer part.
here. And then right there as well. I have you sign right there and then right there.
Welcome aboard, Mr. Bergman.
Thank you.
We good?
Yes.
All right, so we're going to move on to item G, discussion and presentation from Dorothy Jackson in regards to the consulting services with the Heart of Texas Council of Governments.
Good afternoon. Of course, I'm Dorothy Jackson. I work for the Heart of Texas Council of Governments, and in my past life, I was a city secretary, city manager. I did that for 16 years. So I had my hand in just about a little bit of everything because it was a small city. So this is the reason why I could come in and kind of help Cassie and Taylor with the situation of losing the city secretary. And when you lose staff that in a small city or smaller city, it's because you don't have a whole bunch of different staff taking care of stuff, right? So they can just seamlessly move in. So you just kind of have to, you know, that perfect storm situation, changing financial software, that can be a heartache. Changing your banks 3 times, that can all lead up, and the loss of staff, of course, can lead up to an audit slowdown, as you want to say it. So that's the reason why, and y'all are doing the right thing in getting the position where there's a financial person and a city secretary, and not having it combined, because it's really a lot of work. Cassie can say that even just reconciling accounts, is which I'm trying to do, is get the accounts caught up on reconciliations. She just wouldn't have time dealing with the day-to-day stuff, and that's with Taylor taking over as the city secretary part. So if you can imagine that being together, how much stress that puts on one individual on trying to keep up, especially if they haven't been doing it a while. So, you know, if you come in fresh and you've not done it before, and then you've had COVID, then you had, you know, you just had all these different things happen, it can really cause a lot of stress on the individual. When I got here in March, the first thing that I was handed was an IRS letter. And so we dealt with that letter. And what I can tell you about the IRS letters and saying that there hadn't been payments, we just received two checks from the IRS saying that it was overpaid. The IRS has, ever since COVID, is backlogged. So in 2023, the city overpaid their 941 taxes in September and I believe in June. And then in June of 25, let me see, let me look here, because I wrote it down. June 30th of 25, the IRS said you owe $86,000, right? So we received a letter that the first letter we got was, well, they paid the $86,000, but there's penalties, so you had to pay the $5,000. So we got that paid. I showed Cassie how to get that and do that, pay the IRS. And then went on to show how to do the payroll tax, because that's something you have to do every payroll period. Then a letter came in April saying, oh, you overpaid us by $50,000. And that was for September 30th of 23. Then they said another letter in May, oh, you overpaid us. June 30th of 23, $35,000. So something happened in the year 23 that they got double paid on 941. And my belief, from what David has told me, is that there was staff changes at that time. I believe city secretary staff changes. And one didn't know the other did it, is what happened. Well, then they get a letter saying they didn't pay, but I think what the staff was trying to do was make up for that overpayment. But because the IRS is so behind, they're saying, no, you didn't pay for, they didn't have, because they just now sending them the checks for overpayment in 23. So basically, that was kind of a perfect storm situation. I would not be surprised if you don't get another letter in a couple of years saying you overpaid again, right? Because they tried to fix it, and anyway. So don't be surprised if you don't get another, but my suggestion is always just pay your quarterly payments as they come. At some point, the IRS is going to figure it out that you've overpaid. And like we said, we just got the 2 checks today in the mail.
I think it was
93,000. So basically what they've done is they added a little bit of that interest that they would have charged. So it would not surprise me if the penalty that we paid doesn't eventually come back to us. But you don't count on that. You just keep paying like you always pay, and keep on track, because you know that's a huge organization. One doesn't talk to the other, and I've got it set up. I got forms set up for the mayor to sign so that staff can literally talk to the IRS. When I talked to an insider person, they told me don't bother calling us if that staff is not labeled to be able to talk to about your taxes. So hopefully that will be all rectified here pretty soon, but you are up to date on your payroll taxes, so you don't have to worry anymore about getting a letter, hopefully, about non-payment on your 941s. I've gotten Taylor set up to join the Texas Municipal Secretary Certification. That's a 2-year process. You have to work as a city secretary for 2 years before you can even get that certification, but she can take the courses as she goes. I've always said that's the equivalent of a 4-year degree. Once you go through that whole process of doing these courses through the Texas Municipal Clerk Certification Program, that's through the North Texas College. And I've also got her set up with the Central Texas city secretaries. They have they get together, and I've Lydia in Hewitt, and also the Belton city secretary. So she has people she can call when she has questions, because it's been 10 years since I've been in the game. And even though the forms all pretty much look the same, you know, I handwritten checks, and now it's all electronic. Well, election law has changed. So I wanted her to get those, her manuals and get all that. And so she's set up for success. Be patient. There's always going to be mistakes. They're human, but they're doing a great job. They really are. I think they're going to be very successful employees for you. Is there any questions you have of me in particular about anything? No? All right. Well, thank you very much. And I'm a phone call away. You can call me at any time. If I don't answer, trust me, I will call you back. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Oh, you're welcome. Getting us back on track.
Thank you, Dorothy. All right, next on the agenda is H, discussion in regards to Texas Municipal League newly elected city officials orientation conference. So look at your tab H. I would like everybody to make a huge effort to get to one of these. They're so important for y'all to understand. Kat went to it last year, or Kat and I both went to the one last year they had in Waco. This year it's in San Antonio or in Round Rock. City will pay for it for you. We have that in the budget. Important for y'all to know these things. Just call Taylor and she can get you signed up and we can get you a hotel room If we could all make it, that would even be better. If we could all get there and,
I
some
learned a
staff
lot,
will probably
like
go.
the budget and tax rate setting, anything that's been new in the legislative session that that's just not something that you come across without, there's courses on that, and there's just a lot that it helps to be updated on.
It opened your eyes a little bit. So if you can, I'd like to encourage y'all to do that. Next is I on the agenda, discussion and possible action in regards to approving the Sunset Homes Parade map for July 2nd, 2026 from 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. for their Independence Day Parade.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for considering this parade. My name is Mildred Martinez. I'm the activity director. And Lutheran Sunset is planning to host a parade, a community parade, to have a big celebration for the 250th anniversary of United States. So it's hard for us to take the residents to a big event like fireworks and stuff like that. So we're planning to have a community parade and invite everyone in the community. We're gonna use the social media, the local news. We're gonna reach out to them, see if they can promote the parade, so the residents can come outside and watch it closely and safely. So that's all. We plan to have it on June the 2nd, just because Friday is a holiday for us. And July, I'm sorry. And we're gonna start at 9:30. We have the maintenance guys on board to help us with the traffic control, but we're also requesting if the police department can help us with that as well. That's all. Do you have any questions?
I think Chris has some questions.
Chief?
I don't really have any questions necessarily. She's answered one of them. Obviously, when we have a parade through the city streets, we've got to have the police there to shut the road down. So my only question or concern was, I guess the parade is starting on 219, which is obviously a main thoroughfare through town. So that's the only really concern. The city streets are not as a concern because they're not as busy. So I think maybe and I understand, I guess y'all want to turn there to go by the assisted living.
Right,
the
on
whole
Avenue
purpose
Q.
there. Yeah. It's not something we can't do, we just need to make sure that I've got, being the 4th of July coming up, make sure I've got everybody here that we have some extra officers, we can do that. So, I mean, if the council's okay with that route, I don't see a problem with it, just as long as I've got officers here. We obviously didn't know this was gonna be coming up when some guys put in for vacation time, so I think we'll be okay, but that'd be my only concern.
You know how like at the beginning of a parade, you have your like staging area where first of all, who all do you hope will be in the parade? Like how many?
That's
Just whatever.
unknown, yeah, because it's gonna open to the community and.
So, like, where will that could be a concern, just lining up on 219.
Right,
Where
right.
will everybody
We're
line up to
hoping,
start the parade?
By mid of June to know close amount of vehicles, yes.
And then, Chief, does this mean that we would shut 219 down for an hour and a half? Or just a lane of it, or how would we do that?
Well, I mean, since the parade just starts there, I would assume once the parade gets going, if 219 was shut down, we could open it back up because it's gonna go down the city streets. So,
Okay.
I mean, as far as shutting it down during the parade lineup, that may not be an issue if it's a 20 or 30 minute time frame. I know with the Christmas parade, which kudos to the chamber, it's turned into a massive ordeal, but we're able to get the word out, and we do shut down the main roads for, it's turned into 30, 45 minutes in some places on the main road. So I don't know that we'd have to shut the whole thing down, but it's definitely gonna take the police department being on 219 to either shut it down or reroute traffic around it for the 30 minutes or however long the parade's gonna be lined up there. And then I would think once the parade gets going, then we could open it back up. The rest of the parade will be on our streets that we can deal with. I don't really have too big of a concern with the with the city streets, especially if they have some guys that can help us out.
And this would be open to the public also? You would invite others to come down
Correct.
to be part? Okay. So maybe we just don't have anybody sitting on 219?
What, can I suggest something after looking at this? What if they stage or have lineup on Avenue Q on the other
Yeah.
north side of 219?
And then just cross over.
And all you have to do is cross 219.
Okay.
That's all you would have to work.
See, glad the parade guru was here, 'cause that's a really good idea. So that would be a lot easier, probably we can just shut 219 down completely for, I mean, hopefully 30, 40 minutes if you got a big parade. But
To go
for how long
across.
to go across, and then we can open it back up once the parade crosses.
My only sad thing is that the Sunset Home is my favorite float in the homecoming parade, and they're gonna be watching, they won't be in the parade.
I know.
They're the best.
Okay.
Do you have
Thank
any
you, Paige.
questions, anybody else? I move that we
Thank you.
approve the Sunset Homes Parade map for July 2nd, from 9:30 to 11 a.m. for their Independence Day parade, pending some minor adjustments for the lineup.
I'll second.
I have a motion, and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
That's
Next.
fun, Mildred.
Yes, it will be fun. J, first reading of the resolution number 260526-0 for the Clifton Youth Baseball Softball Association grant for $54,000.
I can. We'd love to. Okay, resolution number 260526-0. Resolution of the City Council of the City of Clifton, Texas, approving the Clifton Economic Development Corporation grant of $54,000 to the Clifton Youth Baseball Softball Association. Whereas the Clifton Economic Development Corporation, the Clifton EDC, Board of Directors has determined that a grant in the amount of $54,000 to Clifton Youth Baseball Softball Association for a new concession stand and restrooms would be consistent with the purpose of the Clifton EDC and would be beneficial to the City of Clifton. And whereas the Clifton EDC has advertised its intent to grant the funds to Clifton Youth Baseball Softball Association as required by law, and whereas the Clifton EDC Board has conducted a public hearing on its intent to provide a $54,000 grant to Clifton Youth Baseball Softball Association and received no opposition to the grant. Now, therefore, as provided by law, the City Council of the City of Clifton acts to authorize the following. Section 1, approval of a grant in the amount of $54,000 to Clifton Youth Baseball Softball Association.
All right, so we've been through our first reading. Next on the agenda is L, discussion and possible action in regards.
Okay.
K, I'm sorry. First reading of the resolution number 260526-1 for Harris Brothers Fabrication Grant for $63,390.
Resolution number 260526-1, resolution of the City Council of the City of Clifton, Texas, approving the Clifton Economic Development Corporation grant of $63,393 to Harris Brothers Fabrication. Whereas the Clifton Economic Development Corporation, the Clifton EDC Board of Directors has determined that a grant in the amount of $63,246.14 to Harris Brothers Fabrication for building improvement would be consistent with the purposes of the Clifton EDC and would be beneficial to the City of Clifton. And whereas the Clifton EDC has advertised its intent to grant the funds to Harris Brothers Fabrication as required by law, and whereas the Clifton EDC Board has conducted a public hearing on its intent to provide a $63,393 grant to Harris Brothers Fabrication and received no opposition to the grant. Now therefore, as provided by law, the City Council of the City of Clifton acts to authorize the following. Section 1, approval of a grant in the amount of $63,393 to Harris Brothers Fabrication.
Thank you very much, Taylor. All right, we've been through our first readings. Next on the agenda is discussion and possible action in regards to approving a new hotel motel request form to be filled out at the beginning of each year and a maximum request of $10,000 per year.
What you got in front of you, council, is it's an application. This is a discussion. I mean, y'all can choose to approve this or increase it. I've got a few figures here from Hotel Motel I'd like to share you. And I know a few of y'all have asked to do a one-year sign up where you, at the first of the year, you tell us exactly what you're gonna do for the year so we know how to budget properly for this. So basically what we've done is I put in $10,000 and the reason is that we pulled the last 2 years of Hotel Motel on who's asked for what. So the average is around the $8,000. There is a couple. The Chambers asked for up to $12,000. The Bosque Art Center has requested up to $16,000 to $20,000 in the past. So that would be a discussion point on how y'all would like to do that. We would like to put a cap on it, just because we don't want to overspend our funds. Currently, last year we brought in $71,655,000, and we spent roughly around $31,000. And then this year, we are currently have already spent $30,650, and we still got several months left. And we've only brought in $41,000 this year. We are expecting some possibly bigger requests that would be strictly up to council. That, I mean, y'all have the authority to say yes or no, or give an increase. I know that Baseball Association has talked about some requests, some larger requests, but what we're talking about is the consistent ones that come up on a regular basis. We realize that some will be exceptions, and y'all would still vote on those. So this is a form I put together, a long convoluted one. Haley kind of pulled it down a little bit. I appreciate Haley doing that because mine was about 15 pages to her 4. So I appreciate that.
They do too.
And I know y'all do too. So basically what this is, you fill out your basic information, and then for each individual ask, you fill out that section. So if you have 3 or 4 asks, then you just make your own copies and fill it out. And you can use up to $10,000. We're just using this as a guide right now. So if y'all have any questions, or you want me to look at anything else, or if you like it and you just want to go ahead and vote it now, just let me know what you would like us to take a look at.
Did you say this already? How much is currently in Hotel Motel?
I did not say that. Currently, we have $141,000 in Hotel Motel.
This is a perfect example of why training is nice. So I just went ahead and printed this up to refresh myself on Hotel Motel money. There's 2 criteria for Hotel Motel money. And then it is, first, every expenditure must directly enhance and promote tourism and the convention and hotel industry. Criteria number 2, every expenditure of the hotel occupancy tax must clearly fit into one of 9 statutorily provided categories for expenditure of local hotel occupancy tax revenues. Those 9 are, number 1, funding the establishment, improvement, or maintenance of a convention center or visitor information center. 2, paying the administrative cost for facilitating convention registrations. 3, paying for advertising, solicitations, and promotions that attract tourists and convention delegates to the city or its vicinity. 4, expenditures that promote the arts. 5, funding historical restoration or preservation programs. 6, funding certain expenses, including promotional expenses directly related to a sporting event within counties with a population under $1 million. 7, funding the enhancement or upgrading of existing sport facilities or sports fields for certain municipalities. And 8, funding transportation systems for tourists. And 9, signage directing tourists to sites and attractions that are visited frequently by hotel guests in the municipality. Just Hotel Motel 101 for you. So,
Y'all have answered a lot of my questions. I just crossed them all off.
There you go.
Good job.
Do y'all have any questions for me? Or, like I said, this is something that's been asked about for a while, so we're gonna go ahead and start bringing this forward and let y'all go ahead and discuss it. If y'all like the way we've done it, if you want to see an increase up to 12,000, because I know Paige, she roughly spends about 12,000 a year. Or,
And most of my events do put people overnight in the hotel.
Right. And I think for the most part, everybody does. I know Art Classic brings a lot of people in town, and they do a lot of promotion on that. So I think we're all in compliance here. It's just how much do we want to spend, and how much do we want to go out, and then we're putting out more than we're bringing in.
My concern, okay, what did you say last year? We brought in 71,000.
Yes.
Almost 72.
Yes, yeah, almost 72,000, and we spent 31,000. This year, we're already on the road to spend quite a bit. We've already spent 30,000, and we still got 4 months left. And we have brought in 41,872. And like I said, we in the account itself right now, 141,000 and some change.
So say we did cap it, like you said, at $10,000, and one organization has already spent that, but they come back to us and say, hey, we really need this, it would be up to us to give them more if we wanted to. Would it?
I'd say it'd be y'all's decision on that. Yeah.
But we would have the option to, or to say, no, y'all spent your money and that's it.
And, yeah, you can say that too. You've already gone over your limit, or you can, if they want to approach council, say they've already spent $15,000 on their ask, and then they have something. I mean, things come up every year that you might not know.
They do, but I wouldn't want to, that's the point.
Yeah, so.
The cap is the point.
Yeah.
but this way, we're doing it before everybody starts working on their budgets, so they can account for that. When they know what the max is, then they can.
It helps them plan too.
So, a few things. So one, I feel like we need to decide, do we like this? Do we want to do this today, or do we want to think about it some more? And then that kind of goes into what we need to talk about next.
If y'all want to take a look at cap, I mean, right now, y'all, a couple had approached and said that y'all would want to take a look at a cap. I'm just telling you what has been spent and who's kind of spent it. We've had some people wanting to come to us that never come to us before to ask about some things. So the concern is more and more people, you know, we're bringing heads on beds or whatever.
Currently, I should know this, but can you go on the website and like do this online? Everyone's is always on paper that I've seen. Is there a way, a link?
It was an application that was given out to us probably 8 years ago that we
Before
use
your
right
time.
now.
Could we do it?
It's
Like,
on the website, it's just you have to print it, it's not digital, but yes, the plan is, once we have, nonetheless, to create a new application.
Okay.
Whether it has a cap or not, it will be
Yeah,
digitized.
we would like it to
Awesome.
be easier for people instead of having to come to City Hall.
well, some people that won't be easier for, but
Well,
we should
that's-
probably move in that direction.
Nobody else.
I like Paige said, I think, a few years back, they would ask once a year, and
When I first came on board in 2010, for probably 4 or 5 years, I would approach the council it was either in September or October for the following fiscal year, and I would lay out my budget asking for all my events. And back then, I would even ask for billboard money because at that time the chamber had no money back then. Now we have those funds to do that ourselves.
Was that a requirement at the time to do it all at once? or-
Back then it was, yeah. And I mean, you had the Norwegian Country Christmas. We had, was it, Burgers, Blues and Brew. We had a couple other different events back then that we don't have now, but we would line item and tell them how much we needed for each event.
Well, if we get them all, I'm just thinking through all the, say, somehow 6 different entities come to us and they all want, if we did $12,000, that doesn't mean we have, that helps us. I mean, we might approve just 4,000 for everybody. If we see it all at once, then that'd be helpful. I just, how it's every month and it just feels.
Well, it helps us budget. We can
Yeah.
also put in the budget every year, okay, if we only got $60,000 to spend in the budget, then you just cap it at $60,000.
I like the idea of lining it up with the fiscal year rather than January
Okay,
1st, though.
that's fine. We can, if we do it the fiscal year, we probably need to make a deadline, say around July,
Okay.
because that would help us budget for the fiscal year, because we start the budgeting process around July. So we could start, and that, it's not gonna hurt anybody, that's, just, they're just gonna have to plan all their, instead of their, starting in January, they start in July.
Well, we wouldn't necessarily have to pay it out.
No.
We would wait till the event.
Till the event.
That's correct.
Reimburse them.
Yeah, this is just giving us budgetary needs here, so we know exactly what would be going into the budget.
Well, and even, I mean, I think, and that's something we need to talk about, is, are we discussing it as it's an event, or is it a cap for even somebody wants to come and do a preservation expense or something on a sporting field? Do we cap it at those also at the
Why don't-
same amount?
We make an appendix that's like, this is for events.
Projects.
This is for events, and projects don't have a cap.
Per,
This would be for an event, and you're talking projects would not have a cap.
Yes.
Okay.
would we want them still to come the first of the year, though? I mean,
We would need to know how much to put in the budget.
That would help.
yeah. And even I thought, we've had people that have come for new things, like the chili cook-off for the American Legion, and there's no data for them to put in the application, but at least we could do a starter of a certain amount, maybe $1,000, just to help start them off, or however much. I'm just trying to throw easy numbers out. But there are different things that money can be used for. We used it for billboards. I mean, we used it for I-35 billboards one time. So,
I was here then.
But I do agree with you on the, at least do it the time amount we can budget for, so. And would start October 1, but you'd ask, and you would say, you have a deadline of July 31st.
Does it feel, I mean, I can't decide if we need to pass this or like make some appendixes and look at it again, revisit it to, what do y'all think?
Maybe add a little more if we wanted to.
Wouldn't mind looking at some more data before you get it, people with fiscal year stuff, time to get it passed before July, give a lot of other people.
we have a June meeting.
Yeah, I don't know how much more data I can get you on that, just because when the other system, we couldn't pull data out of the other system. This was out of the Edmonds, so I can only go back about 2 years on data. But it's been fairly consistent on who we've been giving money to over the last few years. So, but yes, we could bring it back in the June meeting, how we could change the dates up, give it a little bit more verbiage on, when they have to come in, what their deadlines are, instead of the January 1st.
Add an appendix for
We can
special
add an appendix
projects,
for-
add an appendix for, what was the other thing? Like the starter.
You got events,
event
And-
startup.
And if council could also give me their opinion on, do we want to say, if the exact budget is $80,000 that year, do we want to add another 10% to that, just to, if there's anything else that might come up, add another, so it just has a little additional monies in there. I think we would bring it all to you at one time. Well, it would be approved in the budget.
I'm happy about this.
Is there any increase that y'all would like to say is 10,000? I mean, the average was about 8. There are some that ask for more. Do we want to say, look at possibly up to 15,000? We want to put in there on y'all's direction.
I mean, I think I'm comfortable with the 10,000 number. I mean, my concern would just be that everybody's gonna come for 10,000. If we have 6 people that come in for 10,000 and we set it at 60, then we're sitting down in a meeting deciding who we're giving what to, or decreasing those numbers and looking at that.
I will bring this back to y'all in June.
We need a motion to table it.
Go ahead, table it, yeah.
I'll make a motion, we table this until the June meeting.
Can I have a motion and a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. All right, next on the agenda is M. Discussion of possible action to accept the Clifton Historic Commission nominee Louis Stansel to fill the one board vacancy position. Haley, do you sort of want to catch everybody up on that? I'm sorry to call you out on that one.
That's great. Not much to check, but, so we have had our first meeting since I have been brought into the, preservation, officer position for our Preservation Commission. And we have one vacancy on the board to fill. In our meeting, we brought 3 nominees to the board, and they chose to advance Louis as the nominee to council. So we are asking for Louis to be filling that vacancy. We have some great projects going on, and we'll be having some meetings more frequently as building progresses go. So we have the Clifton Record Building. We have Ed and Phyllis Reiser with Corner Drug. They're going to be replacing their windows on the Brooks Building. And then, like I said, Jim with the Record Building, he's kind of getting some initial construction going on there. And then we have Caitlin and Lance Robinson, who has bought the, what is it, the Anderson Building, I think it is.
The white one.
The white and red building down on the 200, what is that block of D? Is it
100 South.
100 South, see, I should know this.
We're north, they're south.
100 South block of D, and it is gonna be a UPS store. We're super excited about that. They're gonna keep the historical integrity of the building, but make it something that we very much need. So all of our Amazon returns. We don't have to so anyways, there's, as you drive by, you can see they have a lot of construction going on there. So great things going, but nonetheless, Louis is our nominee.
Can you sort of explain
Yes.
what the Historic Commission, what y'all do? I mean, your objective.
Our objective is to keep the historical integrity of our historic downtown. So we go by the international standards for historic preservation, which is essentially the state standards, and other states and I guess organizations go by these standards as well. So our main objective is to keep the historic integrity of our town. Yeah, is that good? Okay, okay, wonderful.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you, Haley.
Okay. I move that we accept the Clifton Historic Commission's nominee, Louis Stansel, to fill the one board vacancy position.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. N on the agenda is discussion and possible action regarding regarding the addition of Taylor Zulke and Cassie Williams to the City of Clifton's bank account at First National Bank. Do you want to sort of explain that?
Cassie being the manager for the finance, of course, Taylor's our new city secretary. I'm already on the account to sign. The mayor's already on the account to sign. This helps us. Cassie can actually transfer money internally. Eventually, the next meeting, I believe, unless it's on here right now, we'll be asking for y'all to approve her on the tax pool accounts also. So it just makes sense that her being the finance manager, she needs to be on these accounts. So, and same thing with Taylor. If Cassie's out, the mayor's out, and I need another signature, or I'm out, then there's more signatories within the department.
All right, I'll make a motion that we add Taylor and Cassie to the City of Clifton's bank account at First National Bank.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. O on the agenda is discussion and possible action regarding increasing the printing fees at the Nellie Peterson Civic Library from 15 cents for black and white copies and 25 cents for color copies to 25 cents for black and white copies and 50 cents for color copies. This is the recommendation of the Library Advisory Board. Mr. Stanson? We're talking high finance here.
Yes, we are. At our last Library Advisory Board meeting, we decided since everything's going up and these fees have not been adjusted since 2012, that we decided it was time that we adjusted. So we consulted Meridian, Whitney, Valley Mills to see what everybody else was charging. And pretty much it's 25 cents and 50 cents. Some of them were charging $1 for color copies, but most of it was 50 cents. So we're just asking to increase the fees and need y'all to okay that.
Questions? Okay, entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we increase the printing fees at the Nellie Peterson Civic Library from 15 cents for black and white copies, 25 cents for color copies to 25 cents for black and white copies, and 50 cents for color copies.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. P on the agenda is discussion and possible action adopting an ordinance 052626-1 of the City of Clifton, Texas, abandoning a portion of Walnut Street and authorizing the mayor of the City of Clifton to execute quitclaim deeds conveying said property. David?
Caitlin, go ahead.
Hey guys, I am Caitlin, formerly Amundsen, now Hightower. I'm here on behalf of JJE Properties, asking that y'all abandon a portion of Walnut Street. This particular section of roadway, I think David may have
I don't have it up there.
Okay,
We
well,
couldn't
I've
get it
got one.
working. But y'all have a
Y'all have one
copy
in
in
your
your,
Okay.
you have a copy in your.
This particular section is not open or drivable or improved in any way. I don't think, David, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think it has utility easements or anything.
No, this is
on it.
just an old piece of property that's been in the city books for years. If you can see in your description that there's 3 tracks, and that's a big, like a triangle, and it's not used by anything. And we're not gonna make a road go through there, because there's already, someone has already bought property on the other side of this road, which was probably abandoned several years back.
We went ahead and had the surveyor divide it where it's divided evenly among the people that touch the borders of the property. So 3 different individuals, and they're all on board with it as well. So we're just asking that y'all approve the abandoning of that.
We've had Charlie look at this. Charlie's fine with everything. He's the one that wrote this ordinance. He wrote the quitclaim deeds if y'all approved the mayor to sign them. I had Weston Law give us a letter of recommendation of what he thought this property is worth. We figure it's about $200, which would cover the city's paperwork to turn it into to the county and get all that stuff taken care of. And that just puts a very small fee on the property, which they're very small tracts anyway. In fact, you can see how small they are. If I get my glasses, the biggest one is going to be
0.18
Yeah,
acres,
yeah,
and the
0.18
smallest is
acres.
0.03.
And as Caitlin stated, we can't just give one person the property. We have to give whoever is touching the property the availability. So, like she said, we just divided it up accordingly on what's touching each person's property. So it will be different to how much land is touching that person's property. All 3, property owners gave us letters of recommendation for abandonment. So these are all off Charlie's recommendations, state's recommendations. So these are official quitclaim deeds. As soon as the mayor signs them, they would be turned into the county and move forward from this. And this is going to a property also that John Erickson off of Park Avenue in Q. They're going to develop and put 5 platted lots out there. So it'll make that whole area look really nice. So our recommendation is that we do abandon that portion of the property.
What about the other 2 land, is everybody
Everybody's
in agreement?
Everybody's in agreement. I got letters from everybody.
And they all want to?
They all want piece of property. I mean, it's all that, it's $200, basically, it takes care of our paperwork, and we have to put some kind of value on the property. If you look, each one on surveyed, it's got each individual property and all the descriptions. This is all legal descriptions, and then the quitclaim deeds. Where are my quitclaim deeds? I guess I didn't put them in there. But Charlie wrote the quitclaim deeds, so it was ready for the mayor's signature.
Do y'all have any questions?
No.
Thank you, Kate.
Thank you. If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to adopt ordinance number 052626-1 of the City of Clifton, Texas, abandoning a portion of Walnut Street and authorizing the mayor of the City of Clifton to execute quitclaim deeds conveying said property.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next on the agenda is Q, discussion and possible action in regards to approving a 12-inch pump valve and a 12-inch pump pipe for the molding mill for the price of $26,711.20 to be taken from the certificate of obligation.
I'll let Craig discuss what this is. This is kind of our last installment on the molding mill pump house, so I know he's excited to get this done. So.
Yes, kind of a continuation of the projects that we've already had on the molding mill. And what we're dealing with is a piece of pipe that's probably 60 to 80 years old. So when in the process of, we no more got finished with the electrical and the installation of the pump in this building, and we've developed a leak. We have put a temporary repair on the pipe itself, but what it's going to have to be is the pipe that's coming off the bottom of the ground storage tank at the molding mill is we have to replace the valve. It's a 12-inch valve and a section of probably 20 foot of 12-inch pipe. And that's when we started investigating and pulled up the floor, there's already been several repairs to the pipe years ago. So it's just to avoid losing that storage thing.
Get in a nutshell.
Any questions?
Just more fun.
Yeah, more fun stuff.
Thanks, Craig. If y'all don't have any questions, I'll entertain a motion.
I move we approve the 12-inch pump valve and 12-inch pump pipe for the molding mill for the price of $26,711.20 to be taken out of the CO.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Are there further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. I now will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Meeting adjourned, 7:05. Thank y'all.